renewable mix.
All right. Vivek, thank you very much for that. Market open coming up on your screens. So it's another 0.25% cut coming through straight up. 23,800 on the Nifty. So right down to those lower levels. And we'll be halt there at least for a while. And we'll see. But Nifty Bank is also down about 0.15, 51,086. The Sensex is down a quarter. You got the IT index, which is down about 0.27. And look at that. Just 3 out of the 50 names, the Nifty heat map, the wall is 3 in the green and everything else is down and out. So that is sort of, poor opening, but was kind of flagged off with a GIFT Nifty indicating a 60-70 odd point downtick. So 23,825 is where we are at. So we got 4 names in the green now. At the margin, a bit of improvement from 3 to 4. But you got it's just too early, but advance decline is negative. Yesterday it was deeply in the red. Declines far outnumbered advances. This morning as well, declines more than advances. But as I said, it's a bit early. The PNB Housing Finance block has gone through. 9.5% equity, changed hands. 23,830 on the Nifty. Let's get to stocks.
Well, let's get to the broader markets. And PNB Housing Finance, that one's down close to 6%, as you mentioned. But since there's so much of red, let's focus on green first. ITI, the stock is up close to 8%. Big up move is what we're seeing. Volumes as well fairly high. KNR Construction, that's the other one that's popped up in trades. That's one of the outperformers of the broader markets. Add to the list Ashok Bilcon as well. That's another stock that's done quite well. MedPlus, the numbers look quite good. So that stock as well has opened up well in the green in today's trading session. So good going on that one. Well, I think Sudarshan had given us that call on United Spirits to keep things upbeat. But it appears that that wine penetration story is not really taking shape. The numbers appear fairly disappointing. And Sula has opened up with a sharp cut. So it appears the industry itself is facing headwinds. And we're not able to see some growth. So that's why now the stock is down close to around 6% as we speak. Losers, well, we had BHEL as well. That's down close to around 2%. NHPC is down close to around 1.5%. But Nykaa, Mangalam told us the cheat sheet looked good. And in fact, the numbers as well look good. So that one's opened up the gain of around 3.5%. As we did that market check in the first few minutes, the Nifty Bank from being down 150 points, it's moved into the green. The Nifty as well is still holding on to that 23,800 odd mark. The bulls will want to put in a fight at around the 23,800 mark. Otherwise, a visit to the 200 DMA appears on the cards at around the 23,500 odd mark. If yesterday's fall was because of lack of liquidity, we could see select stocks that bounce back up. Mangla.
Absolutely. We start with the ones which are declining right now. We do have, perhaps it's results, perhaps it's volumes, and perhaps this is the mood of the market. Dronacharya is one of the stocks that actually is up on my list, down 18% right from the word go, and a fair amount of volumes as well. The stock is now really halved from its peak, so that's something we'll watch out for. Obviously, Sula down 6%, weak results coming in, and this despite them having given us their second quarter update as well. Nykaa continues to build on to those gains, up around 4% odd. Bosch from the broader markets is also doing extremely well. The operating performance for Bosch was in line. The EBITDA rising about 14% odd. That does well in an otherwise wobbly market. That stock is up around 3%. One stock I'm looking at very closely is Whirlpool. It declined in yesterday's trading session, and it's now down almost 30% from its highs. Opens once again on the back foot with a cut of almost 2.5%. So that's something we'll be tracking very closely. The other thing I'll be looking at is how Zomato's performing today on account of Swiggy's listing. Zomato's opened with just a mild cut of about 1%. But by and large, the advanced decline lines have moved further apart from the time we opened to now. Early days, like Prashant said as well. But the differential has increased quite a bit. It's now around 1,400 stocks in the red for just about 700 stocks.
Absolutely. And, the market's trying to pull back up a little bit. But, we'll see 35 lower on the Nifty. 23,850 is back on the table. We have, just a few other names, right? So ITI yesterday also was the biggest volume-led gainer. It's another 7% higher. Number one in terms of volumes as well. In the last 10 sessions, it's moved from about 200 to 300. So it's a big one we've seen on ITI. KNR Construction, I think we did highlight it earlier. 13% move on KNR. And that's the number 2 volume-led gainer. Huge volumes for this point in the day. We don't usually see that. Vari Energy, up or down, it ranks amongst the highest volume sort of movers. Recent listing. Nykaa, of course, Mangalam had highlighted 4% gains. Bosch is up 3%. So that's a large name and big volumes as well. JSW Energy is up about 2.33%. Natco is up 2%. MedPlus, I think we highlighted 5% on MedPlus, 710. And these have all got some of the top volumes for this point in the day. Manappuram, of course, the story which says that maybe a private equity player is interested. 2%, 161 on Manappuram at this stage. EIH Hotels is up 4.5%. Again, it's got volumes. KPIT is about 1.5 odd higher. And then you go down the list and volumes start to thin out a little bit. But this is, the bulk of what is happening as far as the overall market is concerned. Akums Drugs, we had the management with us pre-market yesterday, and their sort of reported numbers was down 10% by close yesterday. It's down another 3.5 odd percent, and it's got large volumes in it. Hyundai is down 3%. I mean, there is both quarter-on-quarter and year-on-year. Revenues, profits, margins, everything sort of looking a little weaker for Hyundai. Numbers came yesterday in the second half, 1753 now on it. And that's largely, volumes are a little low, although numerically more down than up, but volumes are yet to pick up on the downside in any meaningful way. So watch this space. Down 70 again on the Nifty, 23,815.